Yo, what is going on, guys? So female TikTok dating coaches are absolutely out of control. Now, they have a new grift here, which is essentially trying to get men to treat them like princesses, okay? How do you obtain the princess treatment? How do you get men to put you up on a pedestal? Well, let's find out. Now, guys, today's episode was made by Locke the Bounty Hunter. I'm going to leave him linked in the pinned comment. Make sure you go and check out his channel. And let's jump in and take a listen to female TikTok dating coaches. Let's jump in.
Getting someone to miss you like crazy and to put you up on that pedestal, have this fear of losing you, is all a mindset. I'm going to tell you exactly how to have that mindset so that every single time you are constantly having the people in your life running after you. It is called self-concept work. Whatever you are believing to be true about yourself right now and how you believe others see you right now is exactly what is being mirrored back to you.
Yeah, see, I mean, you call it self-concept work. I call it just being straight up delusional. Guys, I present to you modern women in a nutshell, which is essentially narcissism, right? You have to view yourself as a princess, and then therefore, the men will have to place you on a pedestal, right? I love this comment, by the way, that appeared a couple of seconds ago in her video. Let me see if I can find it. But this is apparently how you get men not to ghost you. Check this out from Trace or Tracy here. It's true. He ghosted me twice, basically. And now that I'm detached and unbothered, he's been trying so hard for me. Not really. The dude probably just wants to have bedroom fun with you. And then he will continue to not have a relationship with you. Let's continue.
Are believing to be true about yourself right now and how you believe others see you right now is exactly what is being mirrored back to you. That's why people that keep telling themselves that love is hard to find, that people don't care for them, that people don't want them, they continue to experience that because you can't break the pattern until you break the pattern within your self-talk.
Yes, guys. The classic, reality is just a reflection of what it is that I say to myself. So if I say that I'm absolutely fantastic and that men should want me, then that means that I am fantastic and men are going to treat me like a princess. Guys, this whole manifestation crap has gotten so far out of control, and I'll tell you why the modern women absolutely eat that stuff up. They love it. The reason why they love it is because it requires them to change nothing about themselves. They don't have to actually change anything. They don't actually have to implement any change or have any level of introspection. What they have to do is sit there and become more narcissistic in their own mind. That is the only thing that they have to do. And if modern women are talented at anything, guys, that is exactly what they are talented at. Narcissism. Let's continue.
Ooh, yeah. I'm gonna have to go ahead and sort of disagree with you there.
Lady, if you want me to put you on a pedestal and to worship you like a god, then you actually need to perform a miracle. Like, it doesn't even need to be that big of a miracle. Like, I'll tell you what, I will think about considering possibly putting you up on half of a pedestal if you could actually shut up for more than 5 minutes. But I already know that's not possible.
Yeah, see, this is exactly what men think to themselves, guys. Again, I think Locke's commentary is spot on, okay? Maybe men would put you on a pedestal if you weren't so annoying. Maybe men would want to have relationships with you if you weren't a psycho who was going on about manifestation. Guys, I swear to you, modern women will do absolutely everything except actually consider why men don't want to date them and then possibly look at changing those things. It's got a lot to do with being arrogant. It's got a lot to do with being insufferable to be around. But we will never consider these things, right? We'll never go, hey, men appreciate women who, for example, are pleasant and kind. Why don't I try being pleasant and kind? No. The advice is always basically to become more masculine and also to become more of a pain in the ass to dudes. Demand more from men. Be assertive. Yeah, guys, because dudes want to have assertive girlfriends. Like, what the hell is this?
So I'm not even gonna bother offering. Here's the problem, woman. You are so fixated on this idea of people putting you on a pedestal and holding you in higher regards than other people. But in order to be liked by people, all you have to do is just be a nice person. Just don't be a jerk. But apparently you're so self-absorbed and narcissistic that you would rather spew out gibberish about your mindset to get people to worship you, as opposed to, you know, just being a likable individual. But I'm not surprised. You think you're the most interesting person on Earth, and if that's the case, then I have nothing but pure pity for planet Earth for being so boring.
So if you want to change how this individual feels about you and to have them start running after you, chasing after you, seeing you as their dream girl, it is all about stepping into that version of yourself. And one of the best ways to do this is by using self-talk.
Yes, guys, you know, don't actually become the type of woman that men want to date or that men want to have relationships with. No, you just have to use self-talk. Like, this is so ridiculous, guys. Again, contrast this to men's dating advice. You know what men's dating advice is? For dudes who are out there who are actually trying to date modern women, number one, good luck to you. But number two, the dating advice for men is usually go out there, hit the gym, make more money, and do what you can to look better. You know what I'm saying? Like, go make a bucket load of money, don't be fat, get in the gym, right? Take your health seriously, and so on. This is the advice that men receive, okay? Actually go out there and change things, right? To the best of your ability. You know what the dating advice for women is? Sit here, guys, and use more self-talk and step into the woman energy, guys. You know, like, half of these women, they claim to be feminine energy, like dating coaches and crap. I kid you not, that is real language that I have seen on this application. And they're like so frustrating. There's nothing feminine about them at all at the end of the day. Now, this woman is coming across, granted, more pleasantly than a lot of your TikTok dating coaches, but make no mistake, guys, she's still completely insane.
Which is a method I teach inside version of yourself. And one of the best ways to do this is by using self-talk, which is a method I teach inside my blueprint. If you are interested, you can download at the top of my page. What you're going to be doing is speaking to yourself as if you already are this version that has this person completely head over heels over them. You're going to tell yourself, it is natural for people to obsess over me. You're going to start speaking to yourself throughout the day as if you already are in this new identity, that you already are experiencing the things that you want.
That is without a doubt the dumbest thing I've ever heard.
This woman's a psycho, man. This woman is absolutely bonkers, okay? So apparently what you have to do is you have to believe that you're just this special, unique unicorn and you're the best thing ever and people should obsess over you. And then you should talk to yourself all day about how you're worthy of being obsessed over. Guys, these are the same women. I kid you not, right? Granted, you can even look at this woman's comment section, like the comment we pulled up before in her own video. These are the women who get ghosted. These are the women who cannot get relationships out of the men that they want. They could get a relationship out of an average guy, but they don't want an average guy, right? They're all chasing the top percentage of dudes, which is why they all get their asses ghosted and why none of these men want to commit to them. And again, you know, they could go out there and date an average guy, but they're trying to date dudes who are quite frankly out of their league. And they never once, not once, guys, do they consider what men might be interested in. Not once. It's so crazy to me, guys. Imagine having a business owner and not once does the person who's the business owner do any form of market research about what the customers might be interested in. It blows my mind. This is like opening a fast food restaurant and you have no idea what the hell people eat whatsoever. And then nobody shows up to your restaurant and you blame it on other people. You know, guys, you just need to introduce some of that positive self-talk and then maybe you'll get some customers. No, the men don't want to date you because you're clinically insane, madam. And you're horrible to be around. That really is the whole issue for modern women.
So your blueprint strategy is just to make women lie to themselves, huh? Yeah, well, that sounds about right. Because here's the thing, woman. If you want men to be interested in you, you actually have to give them a reason to be interested. I know that is a concept that you cannot possibly comprehend, but I'm gonna see if I can use simple words to explain it to you. You see, lady, men don't like women who get high off the smell of their own queefs. They actually like a woman who's actually going to like them back. You take a look at men and just think, what can you do for me? What can you provide for me? How can you boost my fragile little ego?
Yeah, it's all about me, right? What I need from men, what I need out of this relationship, what a man has to do for me. Guys, like it's, you know, and then they wonder what the hell men are doing. Oh, where are all of the good men? The good men are out there doing literally anything else, guys. They have hobbies, they have things that they're interested in, they have their work, and a lot of them would rather do literally anything else than have a relationship with a modern woman, right? There are dudes out there, man, especially the dudes who get older. They are not interested in this crap. It doesn't matter how pretty you are or how pretty you think that you are. A lot of guys will not have a relationship with a woman like this because she's just simply psychopathic. You know, and I don't mean that in a clinical sense. Like, you know, I'm not out here to diagnose people. I just mean in a general sense, she's a psycho, right? And this is why the dudes don't want to date these women. They're full of drama. They're full of headaches. It's all about me, what I want, what I can get out of a man. And again, it's just crazy from like a perspective of you're trying to essentially sell yourself to men, but you have no grasp whatsoever as a female dating coach. Again, guys, this woman is a female dating coach, and she has zero grasp of what men want. Right? That's like being a financial advisor, guys, and you're completely homeless, right? Or being a financial advisor and you've never once invested money before. It's completely crazy, but women will eat this stuff up. They'll download her free PDF, guys. And again, I actually don't have anything against online coaches and this sort of thing. If you want to make some money, if you want to promote or whatever, knock yourself out. Just at least make the information accurate. But this woman has no idea what men want. You know, absolutely no idea.
And meanwhile, if a man looks at you and says, well, what can you do for me? Then all of a sudden that man is being a selfish narcissist who needs to be condemned to the 9th layer of hell for hurting your fifis. You see the problem here? Well, of course you don't. You're too self-absorbed to actually care. And there is no amount of self-talk that's ever gonna change that, sister.
Start telling yourself it's normal for the people in my life to obsess over me. Every single man I want wants me even more. I carry myself as a high-value individual, and people see how incredible I am. People see me as very unique. The more you start to build a hype around yourself, other people are going to pick up on it, and it works really fast. If you can just completely discard the old story of whatever you were telling yourself, the negative loops that you're going, and start replacing it with something positive of what you do want, see how quickly things change.
Yeah, so here's what we're essentially doing. We're essentially saying, oh, this guy treated me like trash, aka he didn't want a relationship. So now what I need to do is I need to double down on my narcissism and the things that I want. This is what women do oftentimes, by the way, when they approach their 30s. They have like this crisis, right? And the crisis goes something like this. I need to get married. I need to have kids, right? So what they do is they sit there and they start drawing up these lists, and they start going over what they need, okay, and what they want from men. And so they create these big long lists of the requirements that they have for dudes. And the funny part about this is she will go out here and she will expect all of these things from men, but they will still go and hook up with the men who have to give them absolutely nothing, right? So they sit there, they become more narcissistic, they make their lists, and apparently the good men have to fulfill this. And what they're really looking for at this point is they're just looking for providers. Now, this woman, I don't know her age, but this is usually what happens when women hit 30. But every single time this happens, guys, the narcissism condenses, right? It solidifies. They like to point this out and try and say that it's some sort of self-healing, right? Or they're going on their journey and they're improving themselves. This is not self-improvement. This is just being delusional. It's being narcissistic, and it's being self-absorbed. That's really what it is. It has nothing to do with self-improvement. Whenever these girls sit here and they go, oh, I'm on my healing journey, all I hear in my head is, oh, you're one of those. You're a complete psycho. That's what I think to myself. I'm on my healing journey. My thought immediately goes to, oh, wow, she's been with that many dudes, huh? That's interesting.
Great plan.
Thank you.
He likes your plan, Chief.
That's the problem though, woman. There is nothing interesting about you. You are not unique at all. You are a carbon copy of every other so-called relationship expert on TikTok. You offer nothing original to the table in this regard. And if you offer nothing, then men aren't going to be interested because men actually want something for their trouble. They want a hug, a friendly face, a warm cooked meal, maybe some bedroom fun that isn't 150% transactional just because you feel butthurt about something minor. It really isn't that complicated. The only one making this complicated is you with this psychological babble that really makes no sense. Now, absolutely, some positive self-talk isn't a bad thing, but that's not what we're talking about here. We're talking about a full-on delusional god complex, and that's just not a reasonable thing to do for a woman. Who do you think you are, the intergalactic space god with Blobafart? All hail? Come on, woman. Even if you tried, you wouldn't even reach a 10th of a 14th of a quarter of a 9th of a 10th of a 12th of that god's greatness. But I feel like that goes without saying.
I know it, your family knows it, dogs know it.
The X effect. Now, if you haven't heard of it,
Oh no, there's another one. I thought we were done, guys, but they just keep coming, man. So what is this? The X effect. So this is another dating coach, I believe. Guys, these women are basically endless, by the way. I thought we were completed for this particular episode, but there are so many of these accounts where you have women who are completely unsuccessful in dating, and then they go out here and they like to give dating advice to women and sell courses and things like this. It is absolutely insane. We have this next individual here. Why don't you tell us, woman, what exactly is the X effect? Let's take a listen.
listen the frick up. Now, first comes first. If you ever want to heal, you're gonna have to admit some shit. We're not all perfect, okay? So you probably did something to piss them off or something wrong in this relationship. Admit that they broke you. Admit that they made you weak. Admit that they put you in a state of misery and distraught. Maybe even sadly they took your self-worth from you. But to yourself. And admit the fact that you, only you, were the one to let it happen.
Wow, this is kind of strange. A little bit of self-accountability. Absolutely love to see it. So if you're wondering what's happening here, what they are specifically referring to typically are the bad boys, right? The dudes who these women were highly physically attracted to. None of them could make it work with those men. And so now she's back on the streets approaching 30 years of age. And thus we begin this healing journey that this woman mentioned, guys. You know, by the time women get to 30, they all have a story like this. They've all done their healing. They've all been on the path of self-improvement. But really what it just means is they have hooked up with a whole bunch of different dudes who they were in a series of situationships with, or maybe some short-term relationships as well, but none of them worked out. So now she's ready for a good man, and she needs to get clear on what she wants as a part of her healing journey, right?
Lady, what you're talking about isn't necessarily a good thing, and I'm gonna explain it to you here. You act shocked and appalled every single time Chad does something that you don't like, and even if you give him a second chance, you're just gonna wait for him to screw up in some minor way so you can get offended and break things off with him, so you can go and find that guy to give you the princess treatment you're always babbling on about. But here's the thing, if this strategy of yours actually works, well then where's your boyfriend? Where's your kingly husband? Why aren't you being treated the way you want to be treated? Sounds to me like this whole princess treatment strategy of yours is just a die-hard way to stay single, and if that's what you want, then more power to you, but I wouldn't be bragging about how you figured out a way to stay single when in reality you didn't figure this one out at all. Every single modern woman has been acting this way for at least the last 20 years.
Yeah, so what's happening here is, I love this. This is a really good point that Locke made, right? Is all of these women come on here and they have these, excuse me, this is a shocking looking frame, isn't it? They have all of these strategies, you know, how to get the princess treatment from men. But I notice all of the women who are making videos like this, none of them have a wedding ring, right? And a lot of the guys who are treating them well, either A, they don't want them, or B, the dudes who are just there to have bedroom fun. You know, and this is the problem that so many modern women have, is like They go out here, they get a bunch of attention from dudes, they get a bunch of free crap from men and men treating them well. But the dudes who treat them well enough for relationships, as it were, you know, he pays bills and he gives her validation and all of this crap. She finds these men completely boring and unattractive. Okay, so what ends up happening is women are caught in a very hard place between, hey, she doesn't want to settle for an average man, she wants the excitement, but at the same time, she requires the security and the provisioning of the men who are actually, quote unquote, nicer to her, right? So this is why women adapt a dual mating strategy, okay? On the one hand, they try and get the provider, and then on the other hand, they try and hook up with the dude who they are physically attracted to. Usually, it's very hard for women to find both of these things in the same guy, typically because just the way that things work out socially. I mean, the dudes who are very attractive, they have no reason to commit to these women whatsoever, right? They have a bunch of options, and so committing to a TikTok female dating coach is probably not on the list of the dude's priorities. So modern women caught in a little bit of a pickle here, but don't worry guys, they have some fantastic strategies in how to get the princess treatment apparently.
So if anything, that just means you're incredibly slow. And for a modern woman, that's pretty pathetic.
Because if you really loved yourself and respected yourself enough, you would have never let this happen. Because you are better and you are more well off to let it go, to walk away from this situation and to move on. Because at the end of the day, if you couldn't handle this situation, it wouldn't have been sent your way. What is meant for you will come to you. Maybe this was a lesson learned to bring you thicker skin. Maybe this was the heartbreak that you needed so you can find your person. But this all had to happen to make you a better person.
No, it didn't. No, it didn't. None of this had to happen at all. So you did not have to end up in the bedroom of a bunch of different random men so that you could learn your self-worth. This is not something that had to happen whatsoever. And this is the story that modern women tell themselves, guys. You know what? I went out there and now I have a body count of 57. Absolutely hate that word. But they've been with 57 different dudes, okay? But don't worry, guys, she had to go through those experiences, so now she knows better and she's developed a sense of self-respect. Number one, you haven't developed a sense of self-respect whatsoever. It's completely fake. You will go back to these men after you've divorced your husband who you try and take for a lot of resources. So that's number one there. Number two, none of this had to happen. You liked being there. You loved the situationships, right? You were highly attracted to the men. You thought that you could get a relationship out of them, and you absolutely couldn't. And you, like many other modern women, completely failed at this. Guys, women love to take their mistakes, all right? They gather up all their mistakes in the form of different dudes that they've smashed, right? And then they like to try and pass it off like some sort of necessary part of their inner healing. You know, oh, she's a better person now, guys. She's been through some things, but on the other side, now she's great. You start hearing this crap as a man, this is just the green light to just run the hell away. This is like, do not commit, do not pass go, do not collect $200, just dip the hell out. This is not for you. This is not wife material. This is not girlfriend material. She has been with too many dudes. She will not pair bond with you. She will cheat on you. And she is actively typically looking for a provider by this point, especially if she's approaching 30 years of age. No.
Maybe you should shut up.
Okay, so all you're doing is just changing the label on the same old excuse, huh? That sounds about right for a woman like you. You're not blaming yourself for anything. You are seriously just blaming external forces for your terrible decisions. And let's just be real here. Most of those guys did not take away your self-worth. You just got mad at them because they wouldn't commit to you. And that is because you were chasing after Tyrone Deanna Jones, PhD, and he was under no obligation to actually feel the same way about you. You kept thinking that if you tried hard, you'd be able to get a man like this, but that wasn't the case.
Yeah, see, the problem is that modern women have absolutely no leverage over dudes with options whatsoever, right? You have this woman here. What's she going to do? Excuse me. What is she going to do to get a man to commit to her? It's going to be very damn difficult, man. You think these women are out here like cooking and cleaning and pleasant to be around? No, they go to the club every Friday night. They go to the club every Saturday night, right? They don't cook for a man because that's oppressive and women have had it real difficult, right? They don't do any of this stuff. They don't develop qualities that men find desirable in a relationship. Now, again, I don't think that women have to go out there and do cooking and cleaning. I don't think that they have to be pleasant to be around. You can go out there and become the most arrogant, self-entitled career boss woman that you want. That is totally up to you. But here's the thing. Men are not going to commit to you. You want to go out to the club and call dudes insecure if they have a problem with it? It's very simple. The men that you want will simply not date you. They will actively avoid you. They will have situationships with you. They will have bedroom fun with you. But trying to get commitment from them will be a real struggle for modern women. And they have no leverage when they're doing it. Well, you know, you provide nothing different to Becky down the road. You see what I'm saying? And so the dudes, they'll go, well, you know, she doesn't want to hook up with me anymore unless I give her a relationship, so it's time to go to Becky instead. You know, like, neither of these people are pleasant to be around anyway. None of them are going to cook for me. So it doesn't really matter. I have a bunch of other options, and that's what I'm going to exercise, you know?
He was not interested, and because he wasn't interested, you conjured up a whole bunch of cockamamie stories about how he was mistreating you and about how you were traumatized and about how he stole your self-worth and blah, 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 blah. We've heard it all before. But here's the hard truth for you, sister. If you're going to admit to anything, you should really just admit that you're a failure and start there.
No one makes friends with a failure. Okay? Do you understand?
There's a girl whose video is getting stitched around the internet right now. She's saying something to the effect of, if you want princess treatment, you don't say you're a princess. You just act shocked and offended or like confused when they do something that's not princess treatment like. I have done this inadvertently. And I will say this, by the time that I'm acting shocked, confused, or offended, it's so genuine that like I either never talk to that guy again or the breakup happens that night. And if I decide to even see him after the breakup, it's like rinse, wash, repeat, because like he eventually does something again where like it triggers that same shock, confusion, and it gets worse each time.
This woman is a complete psycho, guys. Again, TikTok dating coaches. By the way, you guys might think that these are like some small, obscure channels that nobody watches, but oftentimes these female dating coaches have just tons of views, man. They have tons of followers, tons of likes on their thing. And a lot of modern women have this attitude. So let me get this straight. If a man doesn't give you princess treatment in a particular moment, then you're going to act shocked and surprised about it, dare I say offended, and then you're just going to break up with him. I mean, this just sounds like a win for the dude, right? Because he sees that you're a giant pain in the ass, you're a psycho, and so the relationship, if you even had one in the first place, which I'm completely doubtful of, just completely dissolves. See, here's what I think is happening, guys. These women don't have relationships with these men. They're expecting the dudes to be chivalrous. You know, they put on the face, oh, you didn't ask me out on a date. Well, I'm not going to continue this relationship with you, when they didn't have a relationship anyway. And so the guys just sit there and they shrug and they go, okay, no problem. And then they go out to see Becky down the road. Like, that's really all that it comes down to. This woman's like, you're not treating me like a princess. I'm going to throw a hissy fit. And so the dudes just go, okay, peace. They break up with you. Again, they don't have a relationship with you. They just say peace, right? And then you create TikTok videos about it. Now, the best part about this whole situation is that these women end up returning to these men anyway. They say that they're done, right? That they've ended it because he didn't give princess treatment. But usually the dude just left, and she's going to continue chasing him at one point or another anyway. That's really what ends up happening.
Like, I'm so jarred by the fact that I'm not being treated like a princess. And it's so traumatizing for everybody involved. It's hard to see them again normally.
That's nothing to be proud of, Rusty.
Okay, let's go ahead and pretend for a second that your inability to choose a man that isn't clearly out of your league is somehow designed to make you a better person. Well, okay, that's all well and good. It's not all that difficult to improve on garbage. But the fact is, if you're at this point where you are constantly pining over your exes to the point where they feel like they've given you trauma, then you've already lost all hope because you're not actually doing anything to address the issues. You're just complaining about it on TikTok. Men do not want women who are harping over their exes like this. Men do not want women who will blame everything that has nothing to do with them when they're pretending to blame themselves for the situations they've gotten themselves into. Yeah,
so the whole summation here is essentially that men do not want women like this. Imagine, guys, I think Locke makes a really good point there. Imagine you're considering dating this woman, having a relationship with her. You stumble across her TikTok and you just see crap like this filling up her page, talking about her exes and her situationships and how she deserves to be treated like men. Like, if you had any common sense, you would essentially just run for the hills. But guys, we're going to be leaving today's episode there. I have endured enough female TikTok dating coaches for today. Don't forget to leave your thoughts and your comments. Make sure you guys take care of yourselves, and I'll be seeing you all in the next episode. Peace.